For the past few seasons, Mikel Arteta has built Arsenal into an absolute footballing juggernaut. They are a team defined by suffocating control, clockwork structural rigidity, and a relentless high press that denies opponents oxygen in their own defensive third. While the rest of the Premier League has scrambled to copy Arteta's homework, recreating rigid 3-2-4-1 mid-blocks and forcing technical players into fixed zones across the country, Mikel Carrick has engineered their absolute worst nightmare. Since returning to the hot seat at Manchester United, Carrick hasn't just stabilized an erratic squad. He has systematically designed an elite tactical antithesis. It is a system engineered specifically to exploit the exact structural vulnerabilities that make positional machines like Arsenal tick. To truly understand why Arteta and his coaching staff should be losing sleep over what is happening at Old Trafford, you have to understand the staggering data, the transformation from the chaotic previous year, and the subtle, brilliant tactical traps Carrick has spent the last few months laying out. This is not just a hot streak, it is a meticulously crafted blueprint for total tactical subversion. To fully appreciate the tactical masterpiece Mikel Carrick is painting, we must first look at the wreckage he inherited. Just one season ago, Manchester United was a team defined by complete structural fracture. They were a side caught in no man's land, trying to implement high-pressing systems without the defensive cohesion to back it up. The data from last season painted a damning picture. United's defensive lines were consistently detached from their forward press, leaving a gaping, cavernous space in the middle of the park. Opponents didn't just play through United, they sprinted through them. They conceded an alarming rate of expected goals against, frequently dropping points from winning positions, and finished a grueling campaign looking tactically lost, lacking both a clear philosophy and a reliable identity. Then came Mikel Carrick. Fast forward to the season that just concluded, and the numbers don't just show improvement, they demonstrate an elite title-level revolution. Carrick took the reins and completely flipped the script. In the final stretch of 17 league matches, Carrick guided United to a phenomenal 12 wins, 3 draws, and just 2 losses, securing a dominant third-place finish with 71 points. During that 17-game masterclass, United weaponized their efficiency, hammering home 33 goals while conceding a mere 18. That works out to an elite return of 2.25 points per game. To put that into perspective, over a full 38-game season, that trajectory puts a team on an 85 to 86-point pace, firmly in the thick of the title conversation alongside Arsenal. The most terrifying aspect for Mikel Arteta? This transformation wasn't built on luck or individual heroics. It was achieved by a radical shift in how a football team manipulates time and space. So how exactly does Carrick's new-look United pose such a direct threat to Arsenal's philosophy? The answer lies in the fundamental clash between two contrasting schools of modern football thought: Arteta's positional play versus Carrick's relational spacing. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal is built on structural predictability. Players are assigned to strict, predetermined zones on the pitch. They move the ball mechanically to create artificial superiorities, and they thrive when they can predict an opponent's geometry. If a winger is wide, the fullback is inverted. If the midfielder drops, the center back steps up. It is a beautiful, highly calculated mathematical equation. Carrick completely shatters that equation by introducing deliberate chaos. Nominally setting up in a standard 4-2-3-1 on paper, United completely alters its shape the second stable possession is established from deep. The structure fluidly morphs into a devastating 3-2-5 or a staggered 3-2-2-3 attacking shape. But unlike traditional systems where players are locked into these zones, Carrick encourages deep fluidity. Instead of relying on static positional grids, Carrick uses relational spacing, meaning his players position themselves based entirely on the location of the ball and the proximity of their closest teammates, rather than a fixed zone on the turf. They form tight, dynamic passing triangles along diagonal lines relative to the ball carrier. This simple adjustment ensures that whoever receives the ball can collect possession on the half-turn with an open body orientation, allowing for immediate forward progression. Arsenal's defensive structure relies on trapping opponents against the touchline using predictable angles. Because Carrick's players are constantly swapping roles and rotating based on intuition rather than a rigid playbook, Arsenal's press suddenly has no fixed targets to lock onto. This isn't just an abstract tactical theory. We have already seen it play out on the pitch. Look no further than their explosive encounter in January 2026, where Carrick's Manchester United secured a thrilling 3-2 victory over Arsenal. Despite Arsenal controlling large stretches of possession, United's devastating vertical transitions, central overloads, and disciplined mid-block traps completely disrupted Arteta's game plan, proving that this blueprint works against the absolute best in the business. For the past 3 years, Mikel Arteta has spent every waking hour perfecting a system of absolute control. He built a machine designed to conquer any team that tries to match his structure or disrupt his flow with raw aggression. But in Michael Carrick, the Premier League has a tactical innovator who isn't trying to beat Arsenal at their own game. By pairing fluid, relational spacing with a highly calculated, trap-setting defensive block, Carrick has engineered a system specifically designed to turn Arsenal's need for structural predictability against them. The era of predictable tactical copies is over. Mikel Carrick is building an adaptable, space-manipulating machine, and the rest of the Premier League, especially Arsenal, is absolutely not ready for what comes next.